feel like this video called for a cup of coffee, so I've got my favorite Harry Potter mug. And oh, also check out this, my favorite Harry Potter bracelet. This is an Alex and Ani bracelet. The little charm on it on one side says, "We've all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on." So, one of my favorite quotes from the Harry Potter series, and I feel like that's pretty fitting for this video talking about mental health. So I feel like I needed to hold a mug while talking to you, as if like we're at coffee together, talking about some of the deeper things in life. So if you've read my blog much, then you'll know I talk every once in a while about postpartum depression and my experiences with some mental health things before. So I wanted to make a video just talking about that and a little bit of an update on where I'm at now, and let me know if this is a topic that you're interested in hearing more about. Leave a comment down below. So Bennett is 6 months now. He just turned 6 months a few weeks ago. I think I've mentioned before, after I had my older son, Edison, who's 3 now, I experienced some pretty rough postpartum depression and anxiety. And at the time, I really didn't know what was happening. I just thought, like, I am falling to pieces. I'm going crazy, or there's something really wrong with me. And I thought that I was well prepared, but I didn't realize how depression can like sneak up on you and then change your ability to think logically and to think analytically is compromised by the depression. So it's hard to tell that you have it if you already have it. It can be anyway, at least that was my experience. So I didn't realize I had it until about when he turned a year old, and then it just felt like this sort of fog was lifting off my life, and all of a sudden I could see colors looked brighter, music sounded better, everything seemed better, and I could feel more joy and just more happiness, and I didn't realize that there had been this whole fog obscuring all of that until it started going away. And so that's kind of when I figured out that I had had depression. So I went to therapy with the plan of like working on several different things that were going on in my life at the time to get healthy mentally and had the coping skills that I would need, which was great because even at the time we weren't sure if we were going to have more kids because that's how bad it had been. So we got pregnant again. I was in therapy, but then we were moving across the country, so I had to find a new therapist when we moved out here, which was impossible to do. I tried so many different places and everything was like fully booked and nobody was taking new people on. So that was hard, and I wasn't really sure what to do, but we had the baby. I felt okay for a little while, and then by the time I went back for my 1 month follow-up, I knew something was really off because I would just start crying for almost no reason. I felt like my thoughts were racing like crazy. I couldn't relax and sleep even though I was so exhausted. I could tell I was feeling the mood swings, just a sense of like, I don't know if I can get through this, I don't know if I can make it through today, I don't know how much longer I can do this kind of thoughts, and just in general not feeling good at all. So when I went in for my 1 month follow-up and they asked me to do the depression screening, I rated pretty high on the scale, so they wanted me to do some kind of treatment for it. They mentioned too, it's really hard to find anybody who can do therapy, which was my goal of treatment. In the absence of therapy, we started on some medication, just 1 pill a day, and almost immediately I started feeling better. It was crazy. Like, it's supposed to take a couple weeks, but I felt like the second day I was sitting and holding Bennett, and all of a sudden I could feel like all of this joy like welling up inside of me. And I was just sitting holding him, and I wasn't stressed out about all the other things that needed to be done and what time it was and when I would need to pump again and all of that kind of stuff. I was just like content and at peace and happy just holding him and looking at him. And so that's how I knew that I was starting to get better. After that, like I started running 3 times a week. That has helped immensely, helping me stay balanced. My biggest fear with taking medicine was that I wouldn't be able to get off of it and that it would alter who I was, like it would change my personality. What I found is that it actually restores me to my baseline. So it makes me feel like myself again. Where I had been, dog barking. One of the reasons that I wanted to run a half marathon is that exercise has been shown in some studies to be about as effective as antidepressants and anxiety medication. So I would love to be able to manage it just with exercise and with therapy, which, by the way, so I found a therapist through a website called BetterHelp. Actually, I used their Christian counterpart, which is called Faithful Counseling. And you can message online with a therapist, you can do video calls, they match you up with one, and then you can switch if it's not really working out, which was my experience. The first one I had, I was like, this is not going anywhere. She's not like understanding what I'm saying. So I switched finally, and my experience now has been totally different. It's been great. So honestly, super affordable compared to traditional therapy, and is really flexible, which is great because I can message her from anywhere. Back to the half marathon. Exercise and talk therapy. I would love to be able to manage depression and anxiety just through those. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I'm at the place yet where that's going to be an option, which makes me sad because I was doing the Star Wars marathon, like the light side and the dark side are, you know, fighting, and the light side always wins, and like I thought like that imagery like worked so perfectly with overcoming depression through the marathon. So my goal was be off depression medicine by the time I did the marathon, which is now 13 days away, and it's not gonna happen. So I talked to my doctor about transitioning off of it, which is really important if you know anything about depression meds. And as I experienced back in high school with bad experience, it's very important to taper off of it correctly with doctor supervision. So she walked me through it and we were ready to go. I hadn't started it yet because I was just waiting for the most practical time. And then we went out of town for a weekend to New Haven, and I forgot to pack my medicine with me. So for 2 days I didn't have it, and it was not good. I didn't realize it until the second day, and then I was like, okay, now I understand why I felt so stressed out about every little thing and like could not relax and have fun, and this trip should be a lot more enjoyable than it is, which it was still fun. We did have a really good time. There were just some moments that were pretty tense, and on the inside I was feeling anxious and started having like chest pains at one time, like the beginning of a panic attack, and just having a hard time dealing with the normal frustrations of a toddler who asks why a million times a day and all of that kind of stuff. But then like once I got back, it really started affecting me because I had gone for 2 days without it. So the effects of it, even once I started taking it again right away, it took a little bit to get built up in my system again, and those days were really rough parenting days. I was a mess, and yelling like I haven't yelled for like a year, like since before the medicine, during like a different like really dark time, and I was really at my breaking point. And so it kind of confirmed for me that I'm not ready to be off the medicine yet, because the person I was off the medicine is not the person that I want to be for my kids, and for myself it's not healthy. So I'm a little bit disappointed because part of me feels like there's something defective with me because I can't be myself unless I have to take this pill every day. But I I know I need to think of it like the same way I would think of like being gluten intolerant, or having lactose intolerance, both of which I deal with, where it's not my fault, it's something that's going on with my body, which pregnancy is really rough on your body and your hormones, and it just does stuff to you, and sometimes there's not a lot of control over what happens to you, but you can choose what to do about it. So for me, I'm choosing to take the medicine so I can be healthy and happy and be a good mom, and that's okay. And I know it's okay, but I just need to remind myself of that often, I feel like. And so managing it is like managing with gluten and dairy. It's a medical thing, it's a health thing, and I just need to do what I need to do to be healthy. And if I was sick with anything else, I would take medicine for it and not feel bad, so I really don't need to feel bad about taking medicine for this too. There's a sign up in the doctor's office that says mental illness is just illness, and it's really true. So I hope by me talking about some of my experiences, it can help remove some of that negative stigma. If it's something that you're going through, know that you're not alone in it. It can be really rough and hard. I hope you have people in your life that you can talk to about it, and a good plan for how to manage it, and coping skills that you can use. This week has been a difficult week with a lot of stress and a lot of different things going on, so I'm really trying to message my therapist, share honestly with my husband, take time outs for myself when I need to. Getting my workouts in is really key. All of that stuff helps. Yeah, so that is where I'm at. I don't know how much longer I'll be on the medicine, but I do know that this is not the right time to get off of it. If this is a topic that interests you, I'm happy to talk about it more. If you have any specific questions about postpartum depression, anxiety, or anything like that, feel free to ask. And I hope hearing some about my experience has been helpful. Yeah, that's about all I've got. That's where we are today. And now I feel like I need to go watch some Harry Potter to recover from this vulnerability hangover. So yeah, leave a comment below if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe if you like to see more videos from me. You can always find me on Instagram at scribblesfromemily, and online at my website at scribblesfromemily.com, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. There actually wasn't any coffee in this cup. I'm just kidding. There was. I drank it all.